Welcome to Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest and most significant economic stories. From stock markets to currency news, Business Review covers the most up-to-date developments in the global economic world.
A story ran viral in China about one man operating a production line for 16 days on end to meet an emergency order from the novel coronavirus epidemic hit city of Wuhan for disinfectant equipment parts. Yuan Chanmi, production manager of the Suzhou Yingma Precision Machinery Company Limited, a hydrogen peroxide sterilizer manufacturer, received an order for 200 sets of sterilizer parts on January 26th, the third day of the Chinese New Year, when all workers were on holiday. After being told workers could not return to work amid a lockdown because of the epidemic, Yuan decided to start the production line the following day after applying for permission for work resumption with the local authorities. He worked around the clock with only 2 hours rest a day. It took him 16 days to complete the order, just 1 day behind schedule of 15 days when all 5 workers are available. As its partners gradually return to work and raw material shortage has been resolved, Yuan decided to accept orders for another 210 set of parts.
Employees of a Belgian multinational firm will be able to take unlimited paid holidays of a maximum duration of 2 weeks each, the company chief said, as part of a plan meant to boost productivity. The new holiday plan will be available from March to workers at Joncker's Belgian headquarters in the university city of Louvain-la-Neuve, after it was launched in January at the company's offices in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. The head of the firm, Gio Jensens, said he wanted to make his workers happier and more effective with the new policy. Jensens said the translation services firm, which employs 175 people around the world, has received many new applications since it announced the plan this year. The holiday plan would allow Joncker's employees in Belgium to take many more holidays than the 20 days of paid vacation allowed under Belgian law. The measure will be extended to other branches in Europe, Asia, and the United States by the end of June. Managers of the company will have to authorize workers' holidays to allow other employees to take on the extra load.
Chinese Premier Li Keqiang inspected the Beijing West Railway Station amid nationwide control over the spread of the contagious novel coronavirus, urging the adoption of effective measures to contain the spread of the coronavirus while maintaining orderly and efficient operation of train services. On the platform, Li talked with some passengers and asked them about the preventive measures taken on the trains. Li told them to protect themselves well after going back to work. Li also inspected the dispatching centre of the railway station, where he was told the measures taken by the railway administration following the epidemic outbreak since mid-December of 2019 to avoid concentrated passenger flow and the future trend of passenger flow. Noting that the critical stage for preventing and controlling the epidemic has come, Li said more favorable policies should be introduced to waiver the tolls for vehicles so as to achieve orderly and balanced travel for people. During the inspection, Li also talked with on-duty workers at the railway station. The Premier thanked them for their contribution to the epidemic prevention and control work and asked them to strengthen self-protection as the epidemic situation has remained harsh.
Once resented by some Cambodians for bringing noise, dust, and chaos to the port of Sihanoukville, a Chinese influx has brought more pain now that it has gone into reverse. The new coronavirus has dealt yet another blow to Sihanoukville after the government last year banned the online gambling that had helped fuel the spectacular growth of a once listless city into a major Chinese business center. More than any city in Southeast Asia, Xiongkoville exemplified China's growing regional presence and the complexity of economic, political, and personal ties that have sprung up. Touted on the one hand as an important port and industrial center for China's Belt and Road Initiative, the biggest driving force for Chinese investment had been into casinos, and most of all into online gambling. That stopped last year when Cambodia banned the online casinos under pressure from Beijing, driving out tens of thousands of Chinese who had moved to the city. Before that, an estimated 80,000 Chinese lived in Xiongkoville, roughly on a par with the Cambodian population. In what is known as Chinatown, block after block of 12-story buildings stand empty but for the desks where online gambling workers used to contact customers across China. Local authorities say at least 7,000 Cambodians have lost their jobs since the ban on online gambling last August. Xiongkoville's remaining casinos had continued to draw a steady stream of Chinese customers, and real estate developments had brought investors looking for an exotic opportunity, but that has almost stopped now that travelers are unable to leave China because of restrictions over the coronavirus epidemic. Meanwhile, Xiongkoville had its own virus scare, recording the only case in Cambodia, but also hosting the cruise ships MS Westerdam, from which one passenger has tested positive for the virus. Across the city, where provincial authorities reported in mid-2019 that more than 90% of businesses were Chinese-owned, Chinese characters are peeling from the windows of abandoned restaurants, supermarkets, and hairdressers. Those casinos that relied only on online gambling are shuttered. For some in the Chinese business community, the ban for online gambling is a good thing and does not spell the end of the investment in the city, which also hosts a Chinese-run industrial zone and might have oil offshore. The departure of so many people, nobody has a precise estimate, has reduced the strain on the city as authorities try to pave roads and fit sewer systems that had been overwhelmed by the new arrivals. While work has stopped on many buildings and cranes spike idly from half-built shells, elsewhere the construction continues. For Kwan Samhae, the return of the Chinese cannot come soon enough. The grandfather, who has been driving a tuk-tuk for more than 25 years, used to get at least 10 customers a day, bringing in as much as $80. Now he scrapes by.
This has been Business Review, your daily source for the most critical stories in the financial world. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.